Andrea, Rene, the year is over. We are here. It is time to pick the best of 2014. It was an unusual year for games. It was an unusual year for game trailers. At the beginning of 2014, you were not on our staff. You were not on our team.
That's true.
And you've jumped on, and you obviously play a ton of games, as much gaming as you possibly can. I just like every single individual member of the GT team, I think you have a unique perspective on the games that you choose to dig. And I'm extremely curious, actually, having not talked extensively with you about this year for the first 6 months, 6, 7, 8 months of it. So let's get right into it. What were your favorite games?
Well, I can't talk about 2014 without talking about what I am calling my favorite game of the year, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. You and I have talked about this particular game, but I am a longtime J.R.R. Tolkien fan, and I absolutely love this game. I love the Nemesis system. I love what Monolith did with this world, and I had a lot of fun with it, and definitely one of my favorites of the year.
I remember having it in my hands when I got it. I was like, oh, and you came in my office and I was like, I guess I'm reviewing this. And you were like, I've heard really good things. I'm very jealous. Enjoy that game. I was like, wow, okay. And I definitely took those words to heart. Yeah, and I enjoyed it so much. It's so inventive. It's really nice to have like a system kind of prove a game's worth. You know, it was really that Nemesis system was so damn creative, and it's something that is kind of like the counter system in Batman Arkham games, which Shadow itself borrowed from the Arkham series, that I can see other series, maybe something like Batman. Like, I mean, even just bringing that up, like having criminals in Batman, in Gotham City, like building up animosity towards Batman and you having to take them out. It's like every action franchise, I think, could take that system and run with it.
One of the other games that I really enjoyed this year, which is kind of a bit of a dark horse for a lot of people, was Wolfenstein: The New Order. So that came out a little bit earlier this year, was a revamp from one of the original FPSs that defined the genre, really. And I thought that they did a really fantastic job with the game, and I had a lot of fun playing it. It had just the right mix of being really challenging with really silky smooth shooting mechanics and some really well done cutscenes.
I think the big question is, did you save Wyatt or Fergus? Well, we got to start there.
I saved Wyatt.
I'm the only guy that saved Fergus in the office. He just seems so confident. We went in like the first mission, and
he was the young guy, you know.
Well, Fergus is yelling at you the whole time. He's like, "Here's what we're gonna do," and so I'm like, "Hey, that guy's telling me what to do. I gotta save that guy, so I don't have to think. So I can literally just run around with 2 guns and blow people up." Yeah, love that game. Love the acting. Love the story. Love the animation. I think animation was my big take from that game. There were so many settings that they put you in that were completely believable just because of how people react to you and spoke to you in the environment. So yeah, lots of big action, lots of gore so far this year. Any happy family-friendly titles from you, Rene?
Yes, actually, one that just came out pretty recently, one of my favorite iOS games ever, Kingdom Rush, put out Kingdom Rush Origins this year, and I was so happy because I swear to God, I could not play one more match of Kingdom Rush Frontiers. I just totally wore that game out. So when they released Origins, I was super pumped. One of my favorite ways to spend time when I'm flying, and I fly quite a bit.
Yeah, lots of good parody in that game. Lots of fun notes and stuff, and it kind of has that Hearthstone where you just have to click on like absolutely everything in the environment. Good. I don't see my team mentioning many mobile games, Andrea. So I really appreciate that, especially with all the traveling that we have to do. I actually spend a lot of time, even just on my phone, playing lots of silly games that we don't get a chance to talk about here on Just Played. So
yeah, I finally got to play Thomas Was Alone this year on Vita as well, and I know that wasn't a game that came out this year, but was a really fun experience for me. And if no one has ever played Thomas Was Alone, it's on a variety of platforms now, not just Vita, but I really enjoyed it on Vita and thought it was a really great handheld title.
Any other hot picks before we wrap things up?
Yes, I can't talk about this year without saying how much I loved Destiny. Now, it's a love-hate relationship because Destiny has its problems. We all know that. But I've spent so much time playing this game and had so much fun with the online cooperative multiplayer experience that they've just done such a great job of building that cooperative play. I mean, the world is so great. I think the reason why we're mad at Destiny and mad at Bungie is because we want more, because it hooked us and we're like, hey, this isn't good enough. You need to give us more, better stuff. And I think that that's a good thing, while also simultaneously being a bit frustrating. But certainly one of my favorite gameplay experiences of 2014.
Yeah, you can definitely say that the excitement towards Destiny has plateaued, but kind of in a good way. Like it dropped off from launch, but it's still persistent. Like, I still definitely know friends on both consoles that are playing that game. We've only gotten the first expansion out of, at least 2 more that they've announced. So we don't really know what's coming for this series. But yeah, it's definitely something that hopefully I can jump back in and have time. I don't have lots of time. I'm super jealous. You had all this time to play Destiny. I'm always like bouncing around to all sorts of different games.
Brandon, don't pretend like you aren't spending all your free time playing Disney Infinity, okay?
I just spend my Tuesdays now playing Disney Infinity, and maybe a couple hours in between Tuesdays to fix all the broken toy boxes that I build in there. But this isn't about me. This is about you, Andrea. Is that it? Has that encapsulated your faves?
No. I think we have time for one more, and I have to give props to Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Remastered. I could not bring myself to finish this game when it originally came out last year because it just was so heavy, and I rage quit this one moment where in this warehouse with a bunch of clickers. But when Remastered was released for PS4, I said, okay, this is it. I have to sit down and play this start to finish. And I did, and I'm so glad that I finally went back and actually finished the game and pushed through those really tough sections because it is really a landmark piece of game making, and it absolutely deserved all of the accolades that it won. And if you guys have not yet played The Last of Us, get Remastered on PS4. It was absolutely excellent.
Interesting year for remasters. Apparently, we're going to be getting. Devil May Cry just announced that that's going to be getting some love. So yeah, do you anticipate we're going to see a lot at this time next year? We're going to be talking about our favorite remasters from the year prior.
Probably. I mean, because there's just so many of them. I mean, they had their own category at the Game Awards this year. I mean, and we even talked about making a category for GT's awards. So I think remasters are something that we're going to see in this transition into the new generation from, 360 and PS3 into Xbox One and PS4. I think once we get a couple of years into the next console cycle, we won't see them as much. Because I think right now, working on new IP or new additions to existing IP is just taking some time to get into this new console generation. But I think for the right remaster, it's okay. But I think we're seeing a lot of remasters that probably never needed to get made.
Well, not to avoid getting too schmaltzy, Andrea, now that we're here at the end of the year, I just want to tell you thank you so much for being a part of the GameTrailers team. Thank you for doing such an awesome job at lots of events and hanging out with all our San Francisco friends because you're up north in California, so we can get dual state coverage. Doing such a great job in GT News and just playing games and offering another fantastic opinion on all of our games.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Brandon. I'm very honored to be part of your team, and I'm really looking forward to what 2015 has to offer.
Yeah, all sorts of fun surprises. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2015. Take care.